In the vast universe of Star Wars, the lessons of the Jedi Masters are permeated with wisdom that transcends the training of warriors, touching on the essence of self-control and mastery over one's own instincts. One of the most iconic phrases in this legacy comes from Yoda, when he warns Luke Skywalker, "Control, you must learn." This lesson, however, was not only addressed to Luke. It resonates deeply in the trajectory of another Skywalker, Anakin, whose tragic fate could have been different if he had understood and applied this truth. From a young age, Anakin Skywalker demonstrated extraordinary potential in the Force. However, this potential was accompanied by an equally intense temperament. His journey was marked by powerful impulses of both compassion and anger, which often clouded his judgment. Instead of channeling his emotions through Jedi discipline, he allowed his most primal instincts to take control. Anakin's tragedy lay not in his power, but in his inability to tame it, turning what could have been a force for good into a path to destruction. Anakin's relationship with anger and fear is central to understanding why control was so crucial to him. On several occasions, Anakin proved incapable of dealing with his emotions in a constructive way. His fear of losing those he loved, such as his mother and Padme, led him to make impulsive and desperate decisions, which culminated in his fall to the dark side. If Anakin had learned to control these emotions, he might have found a way to deal with the fear and pain without succumbing to the darkness that eventually consumed him. A clear example of where control could have made a difference is in his relationship with the Jedi Council. Anakin often felt underestimated and disrespected by his superiors, especially when he was denied the title of Jedi Master. His response to these feelings was frustration and defiance, rather than patience and reflection. If he had learned to channel his discontent in a productive way, perhaps he could have used these experiences as an opportunity to grow in wisdom and understanding, instead of allowing them to fuel his anger and pride. Jedi training emphasizes the need to balance emotion and reason, something that Anakin never managed to fully master. Luke, on the other hand, while facing similar challenges, gradually learned to apply Yoda's lesson about control. He understood that emotions, although powerful, needed to be guided by a calm and focused mind. Anakin, in contrast, allowed his emotions to guide him, resulting in a series of disastrous choices that led him to the dark side. This illustrates how mental and emotional control is fundamental not only to avoiding disaster, but to achieving true mastery of the Force. If Anakin Skywalker had learned control, he would have become arguably the most powerful Jedi of all time. His natural connection to the Force was already extraordinary, surpassing that of many Jedi Masters. However, this raw power, without proper direction and control, became a risk for both him and those around him. If Anakin had learned to direct this energy in a balanced way, he could have accessed unimaginable levels of power, using the Force not just as a combat tool, but as a means of transformation and protection. By learning control, Anakin would have been able to amplify his abilities without being consumed by the negative emotions that constantly clouded his judgment. He could have achieved a state of inner balance that would have allowed him to access the deeper, more serene side of the Force, where the most powerful Jedi find their true strength. Instead of being guided by fear and anger, he would have been guided by clarity and wisdom, allowing him to make more strategic and less impulsive decisions. Furthermore, by learning to take control, Anakin would have been able to use his powers more precisely and efficiently. The Force, when well directed, can become an extension of one's body and mind, allowing the Jedi to perform incredible feats with minimal energy dissipation. Anakin could have honed his skills in battle, becoming not only unbeatable in combat, but also an inspiring leader, able to protect his allies and defeat his enemies with a serenity that reflects true mastery over the Force. The ability to learn control would also have allowed Anakin to access higher levels of understanding and perception, increasing his sensitivity to the flows and nuances of the Force around him. He could have anticipated threats, detected lies and manipulations, and perceived imbalances in the Force with almost prophetic precision. This would not only have strengthened his abilities on the battlefield, but would also have made him an invaluable advisor to the Jedi Council, possibly helping to prevent the rise of the Empire and the fall of the Jedi. If Anakin had learned control, he could have become the Jedi he was destined to be, the chosen one who would bring balance to the Force in a lasting and meaningful way. Instead of falling into the traps of the dark side, Anakin would have risen to a level of power and understanding that few have ever reached, using the Force to promote peace and justice in the galaxy. His destiny could have been great, not as Darth Vader, but as the most powerful and wise Jedi who ever lived. Anakin's fate serves as a powerful reminder that raw, unchecked potential can be both a blessing and a curse. The Force, in all its vastness and mystery, demands respect and discipline from those who seek to master it. Yoda knew this and tried to instill this wisdom in his apprentices, but not everyone was ready to listen. The tragedy of Anakin Skywalker is largely a tragedy of lack of control, a failure that could have been avoided if he had understood the importance of channeling his instincts in a balanced and conscious way. When we reflect on Yoda's phrase, we see that control is not just a question of power or skill, but of self-knowledge and maturity. For anyone, whether in the Star Wars universe or in real life, control of one's instincts is the key to using power constructively and avoiding the dark paths that can lead to ruin. Anakin Skywalker is an example of how lack of control can turn even the greatest of heroes into the most feared villain. And at the same time, his story teaches us that it's never too late to learn, that control, although difficult to master, is the true path to peace and harmony, both internal and external. If you like this video, don't forget to like it and subscribe to the channel. Leave your experiences of controlling the Force and your opinion in the comments. May the Force be with you.